This video is going to be about correcting documents in GDP, Grade College Keyboarding and Document Processing Online. And therefore, with this particular video, I'm going to open up some information and show you how to correct the document and so forth. And with that being said, we will get started. So therefore, I'm going to request this young lady that I could use this video because I'm using her information to make some corrections. And with that said, I'm going to start with this document. It is 26-4. 26-4. Well, let me start with 26-3. 26-3. It was 4 attempts. So the first time it was 18 errors and 0 formatting errors. Second attempt, it was 18 errors with 0 formatting. The third attempt was keying errors, was 18, 0 formatting, and then she got it down to 10. Please remember, for you to get credit, all errors must be 5 or less errors. 5 or less errors. Why is that important? Because if the document has so many errors, it cannot be a valid document for its being legal, medical, educational, and so forth. So that's why it's important to follow the standard operating procedures to have 5 or less errors in a document. So I'm going to go to detail. So when I go to detail, therefore, it give you the day that the document was created. Well, this says lesson 26, correspondence 26-3. It's a business letter in block style. And with that being said, it was done on the 23rd, 2023. And that's the particular time. That's the time spent, and that's the error. So when I scroll down, here is your key, your error key. If anything is keyed and the color comes up black, it means it's correct. If anything that's in the color blue, if the error is in blue, that meant you inserted something you should not have inserted. If you see the omission error, that means that you omitted information that needs to be in the document. And if you see anything that's in the color red, red means it's a misstroke. Red means it's a misstroke. And with it being a misstroke, it could be a spelling, it could be punctuation, it could be spacing, transposing, and so forth. So we're going to go through the document. And look, see, these are errors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's in green. That means you need to add 5 hard returns. This is your show hide. That's 5 hard returns. Okay, so as I scroll down in the document, okay, the inside address is good. Okay. The salutation is good. So now it comes to spring. Spring is a misstroke. Blue says you inserted some information that should not have been there, or it may need to be corrected more. So now I'm scrolling down. Here we left out the word that. We need to insert that word that into the document. It was omitted. Okay, so now any other error. So now the TH, remember when you're using your writer's initials, it's just 2 letters only, a T and a H, no periods after each one of them, just a T and an H, 2 letters. If you see in the document say URS, that means your initial, yours, but it's just URS, that's what it stands for, but it should be only two initials. So I'm going to scroll down and see any more. If you have formatting errors, it would be here, and the formatting errors will tell you what went wrong and the feedback and how to potentially correct it. So as I open up the document, I'm going to download it. and it goes to download, and then it's going to burst itself open. So as it bursts itself open, I will start making the corrections. Okay, so the document has burst open. I'm going to click OK for viewing, and then I'm going to open up the document. It is GDP Unit 6, 2603 Correspondent Business Letter. So I'm going to enable editing. And then I'm going to go physically in my book and find this information because it's in lesson 26. And what page is it physically on? So you will know it's on page 90 and 91. 90 and 91. So how do I know how a business letter should look? How do I should know? Okay, here's an example. How you would know the correct format and how a business letter should look. So as I go back, I'm going to do a simulation. Me being a student as a student and so forth. I'm going to sign out. Then I'm going to go back in, and I'm coming back in as a student. But I'm still going correct. Okay. So I'm going in as a student. How do I know how a business letter should look? Here's a few ways. Here is a few ways. You can go in your word manual and reference manual. And so you can start here, reference manual, and you can start scrolling down, and it gives you information about proofreading marks, your reports, and it gives you information about tables. Then it says this is a reference about a computer keyboards. But here's a business block style letter. It says press enter 5 times. That's what the X means, 5 times. Then you put your date. Then it says press enter 4 times. So you press enter 4 times and you put your inside address. Press enter 2 times. 2 times, then you put your salutation, press enter 2 times. Then you start typing the body. Once you're at the end of the paragraph, press enter twice. Then you type the next paragraph, press enter twice. Then you type the next paragraph. So this has indents on the right and left side, which are quotes. These are quotes, right and left side for indentation. Then you press enter twice. Then you type your last paragraph, press enter twice. Then you have your complimentary closing, but you got standard punctuation. The sincerely has a comma behind it. Then you press enter 4 times. This is enough space just in case the person needs to sign the letter before sending it. Then from there, you type in your writer's identification information, the person's name and their title, press enter twice. That's your reference initial. Your reference initial, which is 2 letters only, 2 letters only. I think I said writer's identification, but this is your writer's identification. Yours is your reference initial. What is your reference initial? You are like the Picasso. You didn't write the letter, but you typed it up in a format that is readable. So that is one way to see the style of a business block style letter. But as you scroll down, you can see a business letter in modified style. You can see a business letter in simple style. You can see a personal business letter in modified block style. So you can continue to go through and see all the formats and how this look. So that's one area. But you could turn to the front of your book, your hardback book, and you can see the same information there. I can tell you what physical page is on. If you turn to R-3 in the front of your book, reference manual, and you will see all that information that we are viewing on the screen as I tape this. A memo, your multi-page business letter, okay, then the email message in Microsoft Outlook and so forth. But then you can go right to your lessons and look in lessons and go to lesson 26. And when you go to lesson 26, doing your practice documents is always key, because why? I can click on 26D and it gives you the basic parts of a business letter, and it tells you exactly what it is. It says this is your letterhead. That's your printed name, your address, your telephone number, and or your fax number and email address of the company. Then it says your date line. That's your date line. You press enter 5 times and you type your date line, month, day, and year of the letter type. 2 inches from the top of the letter. 2 inches still equals pressing enter 5 times within the GDP software. You got your inside address. This is your inside address, but you must press enter 4 times after that date. It says your name and your address of the party to whom the letter is written. Begin 4 lines below the date. Then you have your salutation. Where's your salutation? That's your salutation. Dear Mr. and whoever the name is. Opening greeting. Type 2 lines below the inside address. Then you get your standard punctuation. If it's a friendly letter, use a comma, but if it's business, always use a colon. A colon after the salutation and a comma after the complimentary closing. Here's your salutations up here. That's your colon. And your closing down here. That's your comma for sincerely. Then you have your bodice of your letter. It says type text or message of the letter. Begin 2 lines before the below the salutation. Okay. Here's your salutation. Press enter twice. Type your body. Whole paragraph. Press enter twice. Type the second paragraph. Press enter twice. Type your third paragraph. Press enter twice, and then you have your closing information. Complimentary closing. Farewell. Type 2 lines below the body. Signature is your handwritten signature of the writer, just in case they need to. Press enter 4 times. Writer's identification, name or title or both of the writer begins 4 lines below the complimentary closing, and then your reference initials of the typist. Type 2 lines before the writer's identification. And then you can, and that's on page 89 physically in your book as well. Part 2, Unit 6, Lesson 26 through 30, Lesson 26, page 89. And from there, here is it in written form. You saw it in picture form in lesson 26D and 26E. It gives you the written form 1 through 12 that you can take your time to read on page 90, and then it goes straight into the document. So this is the document that I'm about to correct and so forth, and I'm on page 90 to correct this document and so forth. So here's the document that I'm correcting. It tells me that I need to press enter 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's your date. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my inside address and so forth. So let's get back to make sure we are on point with the correcting of this document. So as I go back to 26-3 to look at and see what the errors are. Here's the errors that we are correcting. 26-3. Okay. As I scroll up and find it, I just here, click, and then I look at the detail. Okay, then I can go here 5. So now I'm going to get 2 screens at one. Hopefully it will come out and you can see. But I press enter 5 times to get rid of this. And then I need to get rid of this spring. this spring. That's your error here. So here is your document for spring. So how do I get that? I delete this out, and then the word is spring. Then I say dash dash, pressing the key, and then I type the word one, and then I space. Then it changes to an in dash. I'm deleting that extra word one. It changes into the in dash, which is necessary for the document to be correct. So we'll go back and look at it again. So the spring now is corrected. So I will use the word that. I understand that. That's in that second paragraph. That's where I'm going to go and change that particular error. So I understand that. Okay, so that's correct now. So I go back and I look at it again. Any others? Any other? So my TH, I'm going to take out these two periods, and then this will be corrected. This document will absolutely be correct now. So I take out the dot here and take out the dot here. And then I'm just going to save the document, and put it in the handy dandy file where I need to save my documents and so forth. And then I'm going to do another one so you have an idea in how to do the next document and so forth. Okay, it's in spring 2023. Okay, so now that particular document can be reloaded back up, but you must change this date because why? It will give you an error if the most correct date is not in there. So I'm going to change the date, and it's going to be March. Wait a minute, let me see what the date is. Nope, it's the right date. It's the right date. So I'm going to undo that because it's still January 27 in the book, and we're going to keep it as such. So that particular document is correct. So I'm going to go get another document. Only thing I need to do is go back and reload it, and it should be good. So now I'm going to go to 26-4. This one has 13 keying errors and 0 formatting errors. 13 keying errors. So I'm going to go and look at the detail. So when I go and look at the detail, notice that you're at 26, correspond to 26-4, business letter block style. 13 keying errors. So I'm going to scroll down. Remember your colors. If it's in black, the information is correct. If it's in blue, that means you inserted some information you shouldn't have. If it's in the green, that meant you omitted information out of the document, and a mixed stroke, punctuation, it could be misspelling, transposing, and so forth. So we have, what do we have? Omitting the 5 spaces up top, which is the 2 inches. Mostly all your documents will have 5 hard returns, 2 inches from the top. The only ones that will not have 2 inches from the top, pressing enter 5 times, is your email address. That's the only one thus far I have ran across and so forth that does not have it. Do a memo have 5 spaces at the top? Yes. Do a business letter 5 spaces at the top? Yes. Do a modified block style letter? Do you press enter 5 times at the top? Yes, you do. So I'm going through to see what else. That spring is still incorrect because it carried on from 26-3. Carried on from 26-3. So we will correct that one again. So the word that carried on as well too. We will insert the word that in that document 26-4 because it carried on. And then John So Han. So is missing, and his last name is missing off of the information. And then we have this extra space before technology engineer. We're going to correct that, and the TH once again. So we're going to open up the document in Word. It downloads. So with it opening up, we're going to enable So I'm going to press enter what? How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I at 2 inches? Here is my 2 inches. There it is. Is the date correct? It says change my date to February the 8th. That's correct. So what else do we need to change? This spring again. Backspace. 1, 2. Type the word 1, and then it changes to an in dash. It changes to the correct format. I add the word that, put that word that in the document, and I put in his correct name because it needs to be Han. Needs to be added, H-A-N, H-A-N, and then we need to take this extra dot, that little extra dot needs to go away, so I'm going to backspace it out, that's gone, and I'm taking off the TH, and I'm taking the periods off, and it's just your TH. So now that document is correct. This one is correct. So we're going to save this document in the area where we saved the last one and so forth. But you can go back and reload this document in GDP to get your points, and you will have a higher grade. This will get you a much higher grade and so forth. So I'm going to go back and correct another one. Why? To give you an idea how to continue to correct your documents. So why you can increase your grade. So let's go back and do another one. So let's look at 26-5. It's 41 errors in here. It's 41 errors, but we have 0 formatting. So 26-5. So I open it up. Notice it's 26 corresponds to 26-5 business letter block style. Okay, so go down. Let's look in the errors. Remember, if it's correct, it's going to be in black. If it's blue, that means that you inserted something you should have. If it's green, you omitted some information. If it's a red, it's a misstroke. That means it could be spelling and so forth. So now this one says the date is incorrect. That we need to correct. We need those hard spaces returns in there. Okay, so now everything, how this is segmented out, you typed it how the book says. So what the instruction says, it says do your practice document first. So you learn how to put the format in order. Then it 26-3 says, hey, I'm just going to give you a little bit of information for you to type this up, and I'm going to show you how to do it. 26-4 says, let's make some corrections to the document and so forth. So 26-5 says, I'm the supervisor. I've just written this in my handwriting, but I need you to put it in the correct format. I need you to put it in the correct format. So that's your process every time. It's going to give you a practice document so you will learn how to put the document in the correct format and type it correctly. Then it's going to give you a document that has very little information. Then it's going to give you another document to say, hey, let's make some corrections to this document. And then the last one is I'm going to give you no instructions, and you are to put the document in the correct format, not how it looks in the book on page 91 in cursive writing. It's supposed to be put in the correct format. So I'm going to open up the document, download it, and we're going to make the changes. So when I look at the document in the book, so what do I need to do? Press enter how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I at 2 inches? I'm at 2 inches. So the date is May the 23rd. I press enter 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I need to put the inside address. And I'm deleting all of this information here because I need to put it in the correct format. She is the account manager. Okay. So then, and is Turbo Express. And from there is 2 Pine Avenue. I'm organizing the information in the correct format, and then the address is all correct. Then I press enter twice, and then dear Mr. Green, Mrs. Green, press enter twice, and then it is always no tabs. This is a tab, it shouldn't be there, so I'm going to backspace that tab out. Then I'm going to press enter because that's a paragraph. Pressing enter one time, two times, then I'm going to take this tab out, and then the next paragraph, it starts, okay, thank you, because, and then it says once again. So here I'm going to press enter. I'm going to take this tab out. That goes away. Then I press enter because it's two spaces. Then I'm taking that out, tab out. Then I will backspace all of this information out because this is not the correct format. 2, 3, okay, 4. Okay, so that's the person's 4 spaces in between. I press enter, and from there, I'm take out this information. Then I press 1, 2, TH. This is the correct format of this document. This is the correct format of this document. So let me see if any more errors as I go back and look at it. I got all this correct. That is correct. Take the tabs out. Okay, internet should always have a capital I. Capital I. I need to go and correct that. Needs obviously has a period after it. Okay. Okay, sincerely, I need to press my hard return. Do I need to put a comma? And yes. Okay, so now that's what I'm going to correct. Here it says internet. Okay, where's the other internet? Here, internet. Sincerely, I need a comma. Okay, so my comma there, and okay, then needs, that little extra dot I need to take out. And now this document is absolutely correct, and it should get you 5 or less errors. 5 or less errors. So the date is the 25th, not the 23rd. Okay, so now I'm going to save it. Save to the correct area in my document. So here. Now that document is in the correct format. This is the correct format and so forth. So let me see if it's one more that I can give you an idea about. This is, let's look at 28-9. 28-9. So this has 38 errors, 0 formatting errors, 38 errors. So let's look at it. This is your envelopes, 28. So lesson 28 corresponds to 28-9. So remember, if it's in black, everything is correct. If it's in the color blue, you inserted something you shouldn't have. If it's green, you omitted some information, a misstroke, punctuation, transforming, or it could be misspelled. So however, it's like Fletcher is in red, Systems is in red, Inc. is in red, Street is in red, Omaha is in red, Everett is in red, Solution in red. You have your blues for 1410 and Montgomery Road, San Jose, red. Okay, and then you have your blues because the information is missing. So let's go back, and that is 28-9. So as I turn and find that in the book on page 28-9, and that's on page 98. Page 98. So I'm going to open it up, and here's the document as it opens. Enable. It tells me in 28-9, prepare an envelope for the following address. So here it is. This is the format of it. I'm going to press enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. So I'm going to do it this way because I don't think we need that information. So I'm taking out all of these extra returns and all of these extra spaces with these crossbar with the bars. That's not supposed to be in there. It's just giving you an idea and what you need to start correcting for your information. So here is the envelope part of it. Okay. And we need to add the envelope to a blank document. To a blank document. Okay, so here, this is the actual information. If we can go to your mailings, and then I can actually do this envelope, and it comes up. And this is the information that we need to put in there. It's Mr. Brad, and it is Everett, and it's business software solutions. Okay, then it's 1410. I'm typing it in, but it should have automatically came up in your system when we did it initially, but since this wasn't a document that was already done, it didn't pick it up. So we got that correct. Monterey Road. Okay, and it is San Jose, and it's California 95110. Okay, then it says insert the return address, Marie Fletcher. So I'm going to do the Marie Fletcher. I'm going to take out that information, those bars, because that's not needed. That's just showing you what how the difference in the date versus the name of the person, the company, and so forth. So I take out that bar. So I'm making sure that everything is correct. So when we update and change the envelope, it's going to look correct. Okay, so I'm going to change it. Yes. Now everything is correct. And that's an extra space for Omaha. So that's correct now. So this is how the information should look. This is the correct format. That's your envelope information and so forth. I went to mailings, I went to envelope, and then I made the changes, and then it changed and update. So that particular document is finished, and it can be re-uploaded in the correct area where it needs to be. Okay, so now let me see if it's another one and so forth that we can just look at really quick. Okay, so that's done. So let's look at 27-8. This will be the last one. It has 57 errors. Keying errors and formatting is 0. So click on it. 27 corresponded, 27-8 business letter, so forth, 57 errors. So remember, correct is in black. Insert errors blue. You inserted something you should have. Omission means you omitted the information, and misstroke and so forth is transposing, punctuation, and or spelling. So this is red. So that's misspelling. That's green. You omitted some information. The black color is good. That's red. Okay. That's a red for your tab. That's a green that you omitted something. That's red. That's mistro. Green, you omitted something in enclosure. So let's open it up. And the document is 27-8, 27-8. So what page is that on? That's on page 94. So that's that same format. It's giving you documents beforehand. Do your practice documents. It walks you through the steps. The next document says, hey, I'm going to give you a visual on how the document should look. The third document may say, hey, you might need to make some changes, on your second document. But that last document says, I'm not going to give you any instructions. I'm going to do something like a handwritten document, and I need you to make the changes. So as it opens up, and now I am fin to put the document in the format that it should be. So I'm going to press enter 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The date is October the 10th. So I'm going to take this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then I'm going to start organizing this information. Marketing management manager. Okay. And that's Secure Investment Incorporated. Then I'm going to get my date correct. 1. Okay, 398 East Wacker Drive. Okay, and then it's Chicago, Illinois. And then from there, 1, 2, Dear Mr. Olympic. Pressing enter 1 time, which is 2. Taking out that extra dot right before the A and the tab. Because why? Everything should be to the left. Everything should be to the left because this is a block style letter. This is a block style letter. Okay, so I'll take out the tab again. And the next paragraph is going to be I have. So I'm going to press enter twice. That's 1 time. I'm going to take out this tab once again. All right, then here, soon. Okay, and then it says sincerely yours with a comma. So, comma, take out that little dot, Mrs. Julie Mays, pressing enter, and she's a corporate event specialist. Okay, so then I press enter, and then I'm going to take that out. Then I'm going to press enter 1 time, go for the initials of TH. Okay, TH. It might capitalize itself, but that's all you need to do is undo, and the information goes back like it should. And then I'm going to do my enclosure. Okay, and that's how this document should look. This is the correct format of this document. So does it tell me to do anything? Does it tell me to add an envelope to this document? Well, when you get to 20, I think a little further in there, it tells you to add an envelope to this document. But that's how your format should look. And let me go back and double check to make sure I got all the errors. So that's all my errors and so forth. So here's how I can have both of them at the same time. If I click on this document and I hold down my left mouse and then I drag it to the left, okay, and then it actually is half of my document in my page, and then I can use the other side as well too and drag this to the other opposite side. So now I got my document where I can scroll through and make the changes. Scroll through and make the changes while I'm correcting the physical document. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this helps. If you got any questions, please make contact. How can you make contact? You can email me for sure. You can attend a virtual session, which we're having one now. These are the virtual sessions and so forth on Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. How do you get there? Use your virtual office hours, and once you do, you click on where it says join and you join. You have one on actually Thursdays and so forth. So when it comes up on Thursday, 2:30 to 4:30 p.m., it's scheduled, and it's all the way to the 27th and the 25th, meaning on April the 25th, 2023 when it ends, and April 27th, 2003 when this ends, and so forth. And I do offer personal sessions, therefore it needs to be scheduled and coordinated. So hopefully this helps. Have a wonderful day. Emailing as well is another way of corresponding. Phone number is 912-484-6631. Be well.